Hello, it's Rapid Regeneration. I'm David Escamilla. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not making medical claims or claims about diseases. I am simply putting together this program of Rapid Regeneration, brought to you by rapidregeneration.com. This is my passion project, is to help you. I'm on a mission to share with you the same information I used to completely solve my health problems after being miserable, and now being in a position in life where I'm actually creating a good life and solving other problems, more fun problems to solve aside from how can I solve a health problem. And so I've really figured out a lot of amazing things over almost a decade that I'm sharing with you. Now, to round out the program and to make sure that all angles are covered, I would be remiss not to cover the role of exercise. Now, I promise you, I'm not going to beat you over the head with this. I know this is redundant to say, oh, exercise, because I know that you already learned from your 5th grade gym teacher that exercise is good. But there are a few things to keep in mind. Some tips and tricks, some insights that I've learned. Now, I'm not what you would call Mr. Super Athlete. I actually did sports from a young age. I was lousy at baseball. I was lousy at soccer. I was lousy at, basketball. Oh, really bad. I was good at volleyball, but that's not exactly, a sport that's you could get that much glamour doing as a young boy. So yeah, but I was good at football. I discovered football. It was the first sport. Oh, I was terrible at track, by the way. Horrible at track. Awful at cross country. I would come in like second to last out of like 80 people. So, but I was good at football. Now, I know that you don't care about that, but I'm just saying, I realize I'm not I did football. I was a good athlete. I quit football when I was like 16 and moved on to other things in my life. So, since then, I'm not Mr. Gym. I'm not Mr. like muscles guy or anything like that. I feel like it's still important to me. I aspire to be athletic. I think it's our humanity to be athletic. I think Mother Nature designed us to be athletic, to lift certain things, to fashion tools and use them to build things, to sprint, to climb. How about pleasuring each other physically? That's quite the physical feat. How about, we're not exactly fighters, let's say, in the sense of being a very predatory animal, but it seems like we're more of a gatherer. But we do have a strength and ability to defend ourselves and protect ourselves against other species and the elements. So, that's where I come from. Is I think we should desire a certain level of athleticism in our own self. And even if you're not a super athletic person, I don't consider myself like a super athlete or anything. But I do aspire to that because I believe that's the picture of health, is having some degree of being athletic, physically elegant, having strength, agility, quickness, and stamina. So there's no way to do this without exercise. Yes, and so I was missing out on this when I was getting into self-healing back in 2015. I really missed out on this. I really didn't get into exercising until like 2019, 4 years later. And I think I really missed out on accelerating my results. I think I could have achieved my results faster than I otherwise did. There's so many benefits of this. How about cardio, respiratory, your heart, your circulatory system, your oxygen retention throughout your body? How about weight management, energy levels, better sleep, increased hormone production, increased libido? And how about superior performance in the bedroom? You don't want to just flop over like a dying fish, getting all out of breath. How about stimulating the metabolism, stimulating the skin by sweating, detoxing through the lungs by breathing, oxygenation of certain areas? How about stimulating the lymphatic system through the movement of the body, forcing fluids to move more? So these were things that I basically was missing out on. I told myself, you know what, I really just need to rest, or that I'm too busy because I'm in this economic hole I'm trying to dig myself out of. So I'm so busy with that and I need to rest. And I was telling myself these things, but I was missing out. And after I incorporated these things, it did change how I felt, how I looked. Before that I was kind of gaunt and skinny, and people kind of commented that, I looked undernourished before then. My mood got better, my personality got better, my libido, a lot of my back and neck soreness went away. So a lot of these great things happened. And it's not like I became Mr. Gym guy either to have this. Today, I only exercise probably twice a week. My schedule is pretty busy, or I'll make an excuse and not do it, not make the time. But about 2 times a week, I'll do this. When I was getting back in shape, I would, I got this video series, I got this foam mat, and I would just do these exercises. And I would do those like 3 times a week, and so forth. And so this was, I was trying to get back in shape. I would also ride my bike once a week, and I would do yoga once a week. Now that sounds like a lot, and for me now that would be a lot. But after about a year, I transformed myself. I would love to be able to work out 3 or 4 times a week now, but I really only do twice a week. It just makes me feel good. If I work out early in the day, even if I just go for a bike ride or lift some weights real quick or whatever, I just feel good for the whole rest of the day. But I also know that it's doing so many good things for the body. Now I'm going to share some insights into exercise, just some things I've learned over the years that have helped me. Just know, I'm providing this disclaimer. I'm not a physical trainer of any kind, nor am I providing any kind of professional or physical trainer advice of any kind about exercise. And by using this information, you understand that I, David, or Rapid Regeneration, am under no responsibility or liability for your exercise choices. And if you want specific guidance for your body and your situation, you should utilize a professional. So here are some things to keep in mind that I've learned. Number 1, there's just a few here, and then we'll move on. But number 1, low impact exercise is key. So many people injure themselves using high impact exercise. Running is crazy. I mean, you can do it and get away with it. I used to run, but eventually it just never ends well. So get out while you can and go to a low impact exercise. You're getting the same benefits from using an elliptical machine as you are just pounding your feet on the pavement. So yes, also if you're nursing some kind of injury or physical weakness, low impact exercise is the key, or to prevent that. Number 2, warm up the body before you really get into it. This warms up the muscles, it gets the blood flowing, the oxygen flowing. Personally, I like to bounce up and down on an aerobic ball for 5 to 10 minutes just to get everything flowing, gets the lymphatic system flowing. But you don't want to start exercising on cold muscles that are not warmed up. It can help prevent injury to warm up. It's also kind of meditative. It gets the mind into that rhythm. So I personally like the exercise ball. Figure out the time of the day that you can realistically exercise and that you're going to actually do it. Like for me, it's the first thing of the day. Wake up, stretch, before eating, before anything, boom, get in some exercise. Because otherwise, if I put it off till later in the day, I'm less likely to do it. So that really helps me. Now, at the same time, you want to compromise and negotiate with your own self for when you can realistically do exercise. So, like right now, I have more of the flexibility where I can do exercise in the morning, but there was a time it was just too early because of my work schedule to do that. So I forced myself to exercise when I would get home before dinner. And this was difficult, but very difficult at first. But after about 2 weeks, I was just in the rhythm of it and I was able to do it. So compromise with yourself, negotiate yourself. If you don't have the self-control to fit schedule or exercise around your schedule, then fit your schedule around your exercise. Wake up earlier, do whatever you need to do. Okay, number 6, it's a balance. Okay, some people are such gym freaks, but the whole rest of their life is a mess. Their body looks amazing, but remember, you have your work, you have your relationships, you have your other obligations, and you have to balance everything together. Don't just use, but at the same time, don't use these other things as an excuse not to exercise. Remember, the busiest people on the planet make time to exercise. But you have to balance everything. Okay, next, yoga is great. And I'm a big advocate for yoga, but there are plateaus, I believe, physically. It doesn't really push from a cardiovascular standpoint, working the heart and lungs, and working the muscles to really break down new muscle. So, yes, do yoga, but also do something that moves the body in an even more intense way than yoga, to really build muscle and get the heart and cardio system working. Okay, next is gyms are great, but they're not for everybody. A home gym can make it that much easier to do a quick workout. Even if it's just a little area of a room, you can put a mat down. Personally, I work out more at home than I do at the gym, and I do belong to a health club or a gym. Okay, next up is find natural ways to stimulate the body. Take the stairs. Lift something and use good form and engage your core when you're moving stuff around or lifting something. Just look for these opportunities. Okay, next, exercise on an empty stomach. If you can, it can have huge benefits, especially if you're exercising first thing in the day. On an empty stomach, this can work hand in hand with intermittent fasting if you haven't eaten since the night before. Now, some other gurus will tell you, oh no, you need to eat right before you work out and right after so that you bulk up muscle. Well, I'm not talking about bulking up muscle. I'm talking about health, vitality, energy, and your body going to the next level. I'm not talking about looking like having a certain amount of muscle. So I'm telling you, exercise on an empty stomach to get major benefits. And if you think about it, this is natural. If you go back to anthropology, we would be exercising in order to gather food. So we wouldn't be exercising right after eating. After not exercising before eating, no, that's backwards. So, okay, next up is just do it already, honestly. I mean, most people constantly, they're telling themselves, I'm gonna start that. I'm gonna start that next week. I'm gonna start it next month. I'm going to do it. But most people look around. They're living lives of quiet desperation. They're overweight, unhealthy, lacking in energy. And excuses and just pushing this out is just going to create this life for yourself. So do what you know you should do, whether you feel like doing it or not. And I promise you, in 1 hour from now, you'll feel amazing. Not only will you feel physically good, but mentally, you'll have a tremendous sense of self-confidence from having done this. And then within a couple weeks, your new routine, it'll be second nature. Okay, now here's one last other tip about that. And we're almost done here, but about the self-discipline thing. So much of exercise, 80% is mental, 20% is mechanical. I'm not telling you a bunch of moves and stuff. The mechanics of it, there's people that are more qualified than me for you to learn from. And I'm still learning about that stuff. But 80% of it is the mindset of doing it. And if you don't feel like you can do it, I'm going to give you one tip here. I used to smoke e-cigarettes, and I couldn't quit. And every single day I wanted to quit. And I would wake up in the morning and I would say, okay, you know what? I'm going to quit tomorrow. Today will be the last day. And then I would go to the convenience store and I would buy another pack of e-cigarettes. And this was killing me. And this went on for like a year. Finally, I called an old mentor of mine. He's a professor of mine in college, and he influenced me a lot at that time. I thought he was a really bright guy. And I asked him, I said, man, this is killing me. What do I do? And he said, Dave, you can't quit. You can't change that habit. It's impossible for you to do that. I said, what? He said, yeah. You can't do it. The next guy can do it. The next version of you, the other Dave, has to do it. Has to take over and hijack you. And the other Dave can do it. If he takes over, if you transform, if you die and he gets implemented, he'll do it. And that was it. I quit that day. Because the me that he was talking to died. As soon as I realized that, I don't want to be this. I died. And then someone else came in and took over. So that's it. If you don't think you can do it, let the next version of you, that other you, kill you and take over your body and do it. Okay, lastly, don't stop. I've made this mistake. It's cost me greatly. Once you have momentum, that's the time to add fuel to the fire and keep it growing. Don't walk away just as soon as you have some physical prowess and you're feeling good. Keep going to the next level. If you take a few months off and you come back, I made this mistake just because I had what I thought was going to be a little maybe injury or a little bit of pain. I backed off and I took like a year off from exercising. And it's just as hard to get started again. That's the second time. So an object in motion stays in motion. Stay in motion. Keep the momentum up. Okay, and if you want to, there's a few devices I use and different gym stuff at home. If you want to check that out, just go to rapidregeneration.com/exercise. So that's it. I don't want to beat a dead horse. That's the role of exercise, is the more you embrace it, the more quickly you'll move towards your health goals. That's simple. And to the degree that you put it off to the side and say, I'm going to do all this other natural healing stuff, but I'm not going to exercise, well, that's fine. You'll just move at a slow, steady pace, but you won't accelerate and really speed up momentum towards your health goals. So if you're old, very old, if you're completely out of shape, if you're very far from athletic, you got to start somewhere. Get some hand squeezers, do a plank, get some 2-pound weights. Do something just to get back, start getting back, and you can do it. You can absolutely do it. Because if you don't do anything, if you don't exercise, the muscles atrophy, the heart respiratory system weakens, circulation becomes anemic, lymphatic fluids stagnate, and overall you're just letting yourself go. I know that this is not for you. You don't have to do it every day. You don't have to be a gym freak. You can have a balance, but make a commitment to have this in your life. So you can do it. Forget about the people who told you negative things, that you couldn't do it, hurtful things, and doubtful things, causing you to doubt yourself. You have it in you to do it. Just get started. You'll feel great an hour from now if you do something right now. You'll feel great a week from now if you did some exercises this week. And just keep going. It gets easier and easier. Reward yourself and then do it again. So that's it. Do it now. You can do it. I'm here to help you. Go get it, and I'll see you on the next segment.
For more information, please follow @Rapid Regeneration or visit rapidregeneration.com.